Welcome to episode 76 of Relentless Talk Radio. And today I am talking about the 10 ways that education breeds confidence. So it's been on my mind a lot this week because a lot of folks that I know, their kids are graduating, which is, I don't know, how does that happen? I don't know how it's happened. It's these children that I bounced on my knee when they were little tiny babies are graduating from high school, and some of them graduating from college. And, in the middle of COVID, I've been very sad that some folks have not been able to walk. Now, I have to check in with my best friend, Misty, because I did see Aiden in the cap and gown. I have a feeling there might have been something, but I got to check in with her. So, Aiden, happy graduation. Good for you that you made it through high school. Onward, brother. So I was thinking about education. And then, of course, every week I always try to choose a topic that is synergistic with both guests. So again, I had the second episode, a person not be able to show, and I reached out to Chris Lamont, who is a professor of film over at ASU, and just impromptu asked him if he would come on today, and he said yes. So that was really awesome because Lisa Graham, who's coming on in segment 2, is just completing her MBA. So the thing that they both have in common was education. So the topic is really perfect. So did a little research. And I read several articles, but the ones that really stuck out to me were The 10 Habits of Most Successful People by Albert Thomas and Inc. magazine, 5 Ways You Can Improve Your Confidence from the University of Essex, and also their blog, and also The Role of Education in the Shift of Confidence by Tal Thompson and his website, The Age of Awareness. So those 3 articles really kind of gave me 10 things that I totally agree with. Okay. So I'm going to talk to you about those 10 things from my perspective. So the first thing is communication. So communication, when you're in school, you learn how to talk with people in different types of ways, right? You learn different types of languages. Communication is really key in business, in life. But the more education you get, the more words you get, the more references you understand, the better your communication gets, right? So education is super important, okay? And I remember when I was in public speaking during graduate school, and the professor asked, who's going to kill this? And everyone turned around and said, me. So then I promptly choked for 10 weeks. Yeah, I choked. Communication can be hard, especially when there's pressure, So I felt a lot of pressure because everyone was just assuming that I would do great. And I really struggled in that class. I was very tongue-tied. And I get tongue-tied here. And I'll tell you something that class taught me. I don't let being tongue-tied slow me down. There's some days here I forget names. I get tongue-tied. I'm moving on the fly. I'm moving quickly. And, my communication is not always stellar. But you know what? The message always gets across. Now, the last day of my graduate experience, we had 10 minutes to present. And when I was done, it was 9 minutes and 59 seconds. And everyone in my class stood up and clapped because they knew how much I struggled with that class. So communication is really important. When you go to school, you learn different stuff, you read a lot of stuff, and you get to talk to a lot of different people from different points of view, different points of life. My roommate when I was in college, her dad was a professor. And so she really helped me through the language gap. I'm an Irish Italian Catholic first generation student. I was the first girl to complete a 4-year degree on both sides of my family, actually. So I had a little bit of a learning curve when I first entered a college with communication. So that really stuck out to me. The next thing was decision making, critical thinking. Part of what I notice as I get older, right? When I'm giving direction to people that are younger to me, have had less experience than me. Okay, I'm going to stop this little scroll from scrolling because it's a little distracting for me and maybe for you. So I've noticed that, the more education you get and the more you research and you find solutions to problems, the more you're able to make decisions based upon having all the data, okay? So you get all the facts and then you make a decision. And I think it's kind of interesting when I'm working with somebody who has had less critical thinking and decision-making opportunities, how they'll kind of say, Michelle, do we really need to look at that and this and that and this? And I go, well, yeah, we do. We need to look at everything, and maybe some of it's not important. but you do need to look at as many facts as you can to make a critical decision. And I think that going to school helps you to learn how to find facts, and that helps you with decision making. Okay. Number 3 is meeting the challenge. I don't think that school is so much about any particular skill, but what school does give you is transferable skills. Every time you write a paper, you pass an exam, you do a project, it's teaching you how to solve a problem. And that those problem solving skills are transferable to employment. That's really what school's about. I don't know if of course, if you're being a doctor, it's about learning how to be a doctor. But I think that if you're getting a general degree, the first thing you're learning is how to meet a challenge and how to have confidence to meet a challenge, that you'll be able to get the right information to make the right decisions. And by doing projects over and over again, it helps you to know that you can actually start something, be super duper frustrated, and meet the challenge. I remember when I was in grad school and I took one of my last courses was statistics. Okay. So those of you who have taken statistics, you either love statistics and you're a crazy person, you're usually 1 of 2% of people, or you hate statistics. So for me, taking statistics was torture. And I remember being on the phone with one of my turn this off, one of my mentors, and just being like, why me? Why is this so hard for me? Me, right? And getting through statistics, I remember going to the professor and saying, listen, this is my last course in my graduate program that I have worked my butt off and I need to get a B. I am not walking out of here without a B. So I don't care what you and I need to do, I'm getting a B, right? And I worked my butt off and I got a B. I got a B. And that experience, I don't remember a lot of the courses that I took in college, but I remember statistics. And one of the reasons why I remember it is because it was a challenge and I got the B. Okay, I did what was necessary to get the B. Number 4 is receiving feedback. Oh, God. Okay, so when I thought about this one, when I was in my undergraduate, I was in photography. My concentration in my undergraduate degree, I have a bachelor's in fine art, and my concentration could have been a double concentration in illustration and photography, but it was photography. And I remember having my first self-portrait critique, and the professor at the time wasn't much older than we were, and he lambasted me. It was painful. And the next critique that I did was in response, like a venomous response to his first critique. And it was a really super tough critique for me. I did a nude of a girlfriend of mine who happened to be in that class with me. And he loved the second one. So the idea of getting feedback and getting bad feedback and using that for a purpose and coming back better is really so important. And let me tell you something, above my bed is the picture of my girlfriend, Susan. And I've carried that picture with me for 32 years. And I realized when I was doing the research for this particular topic, the reason why that picture is so important to me, it was because I got negative feedback that I did not agree with, by the way, nor did my classmates. And then I came back stronger from it. And so every time I look at Susan, and God knows where Susan is now. And I thought, another thing that was really powerful for me is that Susan, we took the pictures so that people wouldn't know who Susan was, okay? So she was in the class while her body and my photographs and her body essentially were being critiqued. It was her and I in a room full of young men. And I thought that was really super brave of her. So that picture really means a lot to me, and it's been above my bed for, 32 years, a long time, okay? So the next thing is 5, it builds self-confidence. So when you actually get your degree, when I'm looking at my girlfriend Misty's son, Aiden, I'm seeing the confidence on his face that comes with actually achieving a degree. When you complete 4 years of anything, or 6 years, or 8 years, or whatever it took you to get through school, undergraduate, graduate, high school, college, whatever educational situation you have. When I look back at my time at Edward Jones, when I was studying for my security licenses, and I look at our graduation pictures, one of my classmates just posted one of our graduation pictures from 9 years ago. And I could see on all of our faces that we had the confidence that comes with having completed something successfully. So when you are, getting an education and you complete something successfully, it does give you a level of confidence that you just can't know until you walk up on that stage and you get the piece of paper. Behind me is my master's degree on the wall. I don't have my bachelor's degree. I really keep on meaning to order it, but I'm really proud of the master's degree because I paid for it myself and I really worked my tail off for it. And I was sober when I did it. And that was that, I'm really proud of myself for getting my master's in administration at St. Michael's. It's something that I feel like I achieved something. And so that's number 5, that it breeds self-confidence. Number 6 is collaboration. Oh, God, absolutely. Okay. So I was in my power and politics course in my master's program. There was a lady that was in the state government, and we were researching an alignment between the town of a certain place and the school district of a certain place. Okay, I'll just say that. And really what it came down to is that the 2 leaders of that particular town, of the school district and the particular town, they just really needed to go out in the parking lot and have a fist fight. It really did. I mean, I think it would have shortened up, it would have saved taxpayers a lot of money, and it would have shortened up a lot of pain. They just needed to go out and have a fist fight. That's what they needed to do. But when we were doing the research, we were kind of given an opportunity to go into the city offices or the town offices and ask for whatever paperwork we needed. And there was one piece of paperwork about Act 250, which if you're in Vermont, it's kind of a environmental act. I thought that this particular thing they were arguing about might have something to do with environment, and that we should definitely have that piece of paper copied. And my colleague, my teammate, did not think so. She was animately against it. And in the end, I ended up not pushing it. I ended up just kind of letting it go because she was so animate about making a piece of paper, making one copy of one piece of paper. And, I think that when you collaborate with people, you learn to choose your battles. I just decided that the likelihood of it being that was small, and it wasn't worth me getting my panties in a twist over, and I let it go. But it was a pretty powerful experience in graduate school that I've taken forward. And I don't remember a lot about that project, but I remember making a conscious decision to not force the issue and to show up 200% with what my part in the project was, which I was doing the graphics and the video, of course, right, for the project. And I remember watching that lady, that woman who was my colleague. I remember her watching me thinking, and I could tell, she kind of nodded her head. And she said to me afterwards, I really appreciate how you continue to show up. And I think when you do a collaborative project in school, you get an opportunity to collaborate with people and have things not go well, have things go well, and those things bring you forward, and it makes you a better partner for other people in the future. So education for collaboration is great. Number 7 is creativity. I talk about this a lot. The more that you fill yourself with information, the more solutions that you know, the more research that you do, the more creative you can be. You can find creative solutions because you are infiltrated, insulated, and indoctrinated with information. And when you have information, it allows you to do critical thinking, but also allows you to be creative in how you solve those problems. And you learn that when you're in school. Number 8 is you define a purpose. People will ask me, Michelle, how did you get to be this kind of polypreneur that you are? I have a very defined purpose. My purpose is to lift up and to encourage others to discover their best. And I'm not audacious enough to know what your best is, but I do want to encourage you and lift you up so that you can discover it for yourself. And that's what an education did for me. It lifted me up and encouraged me to dig in deep and find out what my purpose in life was. And in doing that, I'm able to reach out to people in a different way. And because of that, I have confidence. I mean, it's just a no-brainer. Number 9 is that you get to play to your strengths. Oh my gosh, so true. I know what I'm not good at. I know what I'm not good at because I've done it and I've failed and it's been miserable and it's right. I also know what I'm good at. I know that I'm good at organizing information. I know that I'm good at getting stuff done. But there's definitely some projects that I will shy away from because I know they don't play to my strengths. So I really believe in appreciative inquiry. I believe in looking at myself and finding the things that I know that I'm good at and doing more of that, and doing less of the things that I'm not good at. And by having an education and trying different things, you find out what you're good at and what you're not good at. And then number 10 is you're ready. Louis Pasteur, one of my favorite quotes, says that luck prefers a prepared mind. When you educate yourself and you take time to prepare yourself. When that great opportunity comes, you are ready for it. So that right there is worth all the pain of all of it, you know? You're ready to take advantage of the opportunities that come your way because you have shown up in your life. So there's the 10 things that an education does for you to help you breed confidence. It gives you communication skills. It helps you with critical thinking. 3, it helps you to meet challenges. 4, it lets you to receive feedback and use it to your benefit. 5, it gives you self-confidence by showing you what it looks like to win. 6, it shows you how to collaborate. 7, it increases your creativity. 8, it defines your purpose. 9, it helps you discover what your strengths are. And 10, it allows you to be ready. So today I'm going to go on to talk to Lisa Graham. Okay, she is waiting in the green room for us to sign on. She is graduating with an MBA. She's the Choose Healthy Change agent with my company, Choose Healthy Change, and I'm really looking forward to her telling you her story about how she's taken her health back and how she's helping others do the same. So come on back in a couple minutes for segment 2 and hear Lisa share her experience with how she's chosen healthy change. Thanks a lot, guys.